You and Scott come in. Who's the third man? It ends up being Hogan. The big bash at the beach turn. But when you and Scott came in, you guys were fresh. You were new, and the Hogan act had been really stale for a while. How did you kind of mesh with Hogan those first few weeks into being the NWO, with him having his mindset and you guys having yours?
Yeah, it was bad. It was
Why?
so bad. Well, because Scott and I were like, the first thing was we wanted to be Hall and Nash because we didn't like. We owned it, so you can't trademark somebody's legal name. You can only register it while they're under contract. And I guess they didn't know that because they'd be doing all the time. We'd be like, "How much we get on that? 5%? No, that's my name. You can't use my name. I'll take 25%. We'll just that way you can go ahead and, you can store it and ship it and everything else, but you're doing it for 5%. So But when Hulk came in, I mean, Hulk was so used to. I'll quote Terry. What Terry said to Scott and I. He said, "My whole career, I've had a line of guys behind me, waiting for one of those Hulk Hogan golden apples to fall off the tree, so they could have a run with the Hulkster, and finally make that Hulk money." He said, then it comes along Hall and Nash. He goes, and you two come at me. He says, you don't care about the apple. He says, you both have chainsaws. You're gonna take the tree down. And we're like, yeah, dude. So there's a thing going on the West Coast right now called rap music. You know nothing about. You have no idea about anything of pop culture, and your brother is so old. And you can either be cool and join us, and we'll smarten you up, or if not, you're gonna look like an old. And
Are you responsible then? Don't ask me why, but I've been watching some episodes of Hogan Knows Best recently, the tremendous television show on VH1, and that every episode is talking about the shiznit and the hizzle and the bizzle. Is that your fault? Good to know.
Hey, you can say what you want to about Hulk. That dude he's as smart as they come. Didn't take him, he was just like, where'd you get For Life at? Or like a Mac 10 song. At the beginning of the song, they rob a drive-through. And the guy says, man, I've been wanting to do that for a couple of weeks. And Ice Cube looks at it and looks at the guy in the car and says, man, I've been wanting to do that for life. And that's where we got For Life. And I remember we were in a limo and we were playing them these different rap cuts. He's like, so this is where you guys get all this? We're like, yeah. Yeah, this is the urban. This is the stuff that's cool. Like, I know you think that Hotel California is the but it hasn't been since '70.
How easy or tough was it when you were doing those vignettes and you were trying to build what the NWO was going to be?
It was impossible because Hulk would do the brother. He would do the rambling 20, 25 minute, and Scott and I were doing sound bites. So Neil Pruitt just somehow, we shot it in black and white, which was their idea. I don't know if it was Eric's or Neil's. And they just, it was, I remember after the first day, we were sitting down at a picnic table, and just me and Scott were talking, and Eric could tell that we weren't happy, and Eric walked over and goes, what's up? And we went, this ain't gonna work.
We're actually celebrating an anniversary today. I don't know if you know this.
What is today? I don't even know.
24 years ago today, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the NWO debuted in WWE at No Way Out.
Oh.
So
we did our apology. We apologize for holding up.
When you came out that, because I remember watching it, I mean, the fans in Milwaukee went crazy for you guys coming out. You guys expected that, right? Did they expect it? Did they expect the Office?
No. If you would have saw their faces, so we're in the Rosemont Arena in Chicago, and probably I would say top 5 all-time arenas for the WWE. And they're going to have this face-off with The Rock and Hogan. And we're in this catering, and guys are talking about it. Oh, man, it's going to be 90-10, Rock. You watch, man. They're going to boo him out of the building. And I sat there, and I looked over at Scott, and I said, what do you think, Scott? He goes, 90-10, yeah, 90-10, yeah, they're definitely right, 90-10 for Hogan. So a couple guys heard that. And they said, you guys really think that? We're like, yeah. I said, dude, I said, the only reason we didn't put you out of business is because they wanted to sabotage the WCW. They didn't want to have it anymore. And which is, one of those things you say when you're part of the team, you guys, we would have killed you. So, lo and behold, they go toe-to-toe, and it's about 80-20 Hogan. But the key, and nobody else sees this except the 3 of us. Now we've got The Rock chained into an ambulance. And Hogan gets in a semi-truck. I mean, it's not really Hogan, but, for the sake of television. And Dwayne's not in the ambulance. But for the sake of the show, we run and basically kill their top babyface. And when it happens on the Tron in the building, it's deafening that the people cheer it. And I'm just like, and they knew right then, because Vince thought that we were this anomaly that just happened to fall at the right time, but he had fine-tuned his business, and now we didn't have that magic anymore. And it's like, no, dude. Yeah. Lennon got shot in New York, but we're still the Beatles. And if we go play someplace, we're still the Beatles. That's just the way it is, the way it's always going to be. And so now we're going into WrestleMania. And anybody that watched that WrestleMania knows that the NWO lost. Scott lost against Austin, and Hogan lost against The Rock. The night before was the first time they changed the finish. The original finish was, and people always wonder, why didn't Nash have a match? And the reason Nash didn't have a match was because Austin wouldn't do the job for Scott one-on-one. He'd had to be handicapped. But we were going to leave Austin laying with a razor's edge 1, 2, 3. And once Hogan got beat, we were going to hit the ring and we were going to bust Rock open. Name a time at WrestleMania when the show ended with heel heat. Never been one. We were going to pull up Rock and he would have been bleeding in Toronto. Not exactly what played out. We got called to Vince's room, and God, I wish Scott was here because he could tell it so much better than me. Scott hadn't drank for 16 weeks. We went up to Vince's room, and he said, "There's been a change in the finish of your match, Scott." He said, I consider Steve Austin having the best day of instincts of anybody in this business. And Steve thinks he needs to go over. Scott looked at Vince, he goes, well, yeah, never loses. I guess he's got great instincts. So Scott doesn't hear another word he says. Scott just gets up and walks right out of the suite. I looked at him and I just shook my head and I walked behind him. We were in some giant, I think it was the Hyatt in Toronto, and it was like 27 stories. And we were like on the 19th, 20th story. And we were in these big suites side by side. And we got in the elevator and I saw Scott hit lobby. And I went, I just sat there, I said, man, I said, think about this, think about this, think about this. He goes, so what? If I drink, I'll lose tomorrow? And I went, Scott, don't let these assholes. He said, no, that. He went down and broke his sobriety. He was gone, 3-4 weeks after that of tops? And Hogan put the yellow and red back on, and they beat us around the loop.
Because they gave, I think it was the night after or maybe the week after WrestleMania.
They beat us in Montreal, didn't they?
And then they put Sean Waltman in the group.
Yeah.
So it was going to be you, Scott, and Sean. I mean, for you guys, that must feel like, compared to what you just laid out at WrestleMania, it's not like a B prize; it's like a F prize in terms of what you're doing. It's
unbelievable. It just, but. What are you going to do?